Hello and welcome back to yet another tutorial. This time we're going over my code for using different Anubis for different locations, similar to Shadowheart and Lae'zel as they progress their own story if you don't recruit them or while they are still alive until they ultimately meet their fate or join you. For the framework, you need first the state priorities, so it knows if it progresses, it will not run or de-escalate to a previous step, similar to journals, if you're familiar with that. So the character, the group, the subgroup, and of course the priority. In my case, I have tutorial, which I just progress from because Rak is not in the tutorial unless you choose to play as him. The crater, no, not the crater, the chapel, sorry. I do not have a crater. The chapel location and the den location. It might be crater. I don't have any Anubis running in this state, so I don't know for sure. I will have to look into that once I figure out what I want to do actually specifically for that, because I might do something in the future. And then you need the state flags, a flag that's basically associated with it. For example, here we associate the recruitment chapel with global rock state chapel recruitment, similar to a den. And then I set the starting state to tutorial and then instantly progress it to the chapel. I don't know if that's necessary. I just wanted to mirror a little bit of what the others are doing, and it works. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's mainly for setting up things which I have in my global origin thing. Let me just find my Discord actually, so I can follow along my actual code that was placed out. Yes. I will also do a showcase of it actually, just the whole thing, because I actually don't have any video for it. So if we go to my recruitment and let me just see if I found the first one. Yes, this should be the first one. So this is if you end this recruitment conversation, but Rak is not dead. He is not in the party. You didn't start a fight with him, which isn't implemented as I typed here. I do want to expand the recruitment a little bit to allow you technically to piss off Rak, which was something I was afraid of actually allowing at first, but player choices. I need to let you do shit. And lastly, he is not moving to camp. Then I proc notify me when ready to move on. As far as I understand, the proc basically waits for you to make sure the character in question is not fighting, talking, etc. When that happens, it tries to run an event based on the string you type here, in this case char recruitment. We, for example, have it here. When he's ready for char recruitment, we call and I set the new state to recruitment den. The reason it's all caps is because the original code was, and I haven't tested it if it's necessary, but it works like this, so didn't bother. Next up, we have the code. When we change state to recruitment den, we will purge any Osiris code queuing. I am not entirely sure about that. we remove his ability to talk, so you can't click talk on him. We proc disappear out of sight, which as the character, the location which doesn't work even for Larian specific implementation I saw in Shadowheart. She doesn't move the right place currently. Walk, which is the fast speed of what they're walking away with. I know that at least there's 3 options: walk, stroll, and run. The 0 here is for additional speed in case you want them to move even faster while keeping a set animation. And the last thing is another event. And then we make sure that we haven't set the flag that he actually arrived before he actually arrives. This is a secondary trigger Shadowheart has. I'm not entirely sure what this is inside the crypt, but basically at some point if you enter some area inside, Shadowheart will move on, setting the recruitment to Den. If she is still alive and is not in the party. Similar, we have the Den raiding quest party goblin raid over flag, which is set after the goblin raid outside the druid grove when you start the game is finished. If Rak is alive, or if he's not defeated, he is not in I'm not entirely sure how that specifically works, because I think it's if he's still in this area it will trigger. He is not in a state where he can't talk. You haven't started recruitment with him. Finished it, because that will set DB1's chapel rack recruitment. He's not a player. Then we will also trigger the progress state recruitment Den, which we have triggered. Was it up here? That will trigger this thing. And proc disappear out of sight, which will then trigger child recruitment to Den, which we'll find in a moment, if I'm not wrong. Here's some code relevant to him attacking you after the dialogue, after recruitment. If the recruitment event flag is set, then he will be temporarily set as hostile, which I also want to reference in later dialogue when that becomes what I'm actually working on. Here we have if the event is triggered for Shah Rak recruitment to Den, which should happen when he disappears from Disappear 2. We again allow him to have dialogue. When he also triggered, we check if the Druid Grove is in a peace state. He's not dead. Then we call appear out of sight to a specific. Actually, what is this thing? Why don't I have actually a thing on that? I think it's something about another trigger location. And a walk location maybe? I don't recall. I have to look it up. Maybe my notes actually say something about it. Let me just find it. I have it set the same here. That's odd. I actually haven't made any notes what that is actually. That's odd. I'll look that up afterwards and add a note to it, I guess, or something. The S-Rack recruitment timeline trigger is a location where he will spawn. I'm not about 0. The null here, I guess, is about setting a flag when this happens, is my guess. I don't know. And of course, the event for tracking all the things now that they actually appeared. We set his recruitment to be the den recruitment instead of the origin recruitment, I think I called it. It could also have been called chapel recruitment. And some related code to the grove, which is related to determining how the NPC, or origin in this case, since it's based on Shadowheart, how they should act, adding them to the list of NPCs that are in the den. Are some specific codes for how Shadowheart should act. She technically can't be here under the grove attack, I believe, so it's just primarily for if you piss off the druids so they start attacking the tieflings, how she will actually act in that situation. I don't know how Rack will act. He might not just do anything, actually. Who knows? I don't know. I haven't tested it, and, well, probably won't anytime soon. So here, if we reach, again, the recruitment den position, and, well, here's met you, then we start the spotting players code, essentially, under the codename recruit den. So he will actually try to talk to you if you meet him again. He might not be very happy in the future if you got him into a situation where you either provoked him or, well, put him in a situation where you had to fight him and maybe you ran away. And he will obviously take that into context. And this is the area he checks, which is another trigger. If he spots it, he will start his recruitment dialogue with himself as the, the initiator, or position 1, and the player character that triggers it as number 2, the character he speaks to, and then he stops spotting. If he becomes part of the team, we call here to stop spotting at recruitment den. So if you moved into the area with Rock as part of your party, he will not start forcing the dialogue. Here's another thing to basically remove him out of basically the den list if he's in your party, or if he leaves the den for whatever reason, for safety. Lastly, we have the Anubis code, which technically also is on the thread on the forums. So bear in mind with me, I am not an expert with Anubis. So this is the setup, the game state that then Rackrunix, which is the name, setups the function. There's the description, which I haven't been able to see. Modules, I guess, is just making sure it can load dialogues and play them. I'm not sure. I do not use the box and animation and flag. One, the animation doesn't work, and I had issues using it on a Dragonborn, which is the one where Shadowheart sits and fiddles with what is it actually called? The puzzle, I guess I will refer to it as. It also says puzzle box, yeah. and she checks if she has the box, in case in a world where she doesn't have the box, she obviously can't play the animation. Here we have the dialogue she should be playing, which is just a normal repeatable dialogue with I should probably actually get that on screen. Actually, I'll get that up afterwards. Well, basically a dialogue to play a flag, which is basically making sure that he is in the state that he can be grow recruited. We check we're in the right place, which is the right level, wild main A, and the flag here is the correct. It is not null, it's nil, I believe it is. And if it's both are true, then, well, it works. When it ends the function, we will stop the animation and stop sitting repose is for generally using, I think, objects for sitting or sleeping in the case of beds. I would still recommend looking at the actual guide on actually writing Anubis, even with this, because I mean, this is still based on the Shadow Hearts, on Shadow Hearts code. Lastly, we have the repeatable notes. So apparently, I didn't find anything on the actual guide on immediate selector. But as far as I understand, it basically runs the nodes, only the topmost valid one. If we go down to valid here, we can see it is only valid if they're sitting down, in this case rock, and the flag is true from the den flag, which is he is ready to be recruited in the den. Then he will start the automatic dialogue, additional dialogue, I think it's for. Wait for completion, it's false. Minimum delay before it starts again, 10. Me is generally the associated character to run the script. Then it will wait for 10 seconds and end the function. And then they will keep repeating until it's no longer true that he is both sitting and have the flag. To make sure he is actually sitting at the location, I have basically a command that asks him to sit at S-Den Shadowheart chair, which is the stone Shadowheart sits at. Lastly, I wanted to find the actual dialogue I use for it, so that would be 80 is what it's called. That's den underscore rock recruitment AD. That's one. No? Come on. Why are you not opening? There we go. It is the repeatable dialogue for speakers that only have rock. Automated timeline, sub-anonymous. I haven't made a timeline, I haven't done anything with it. I have local flags to basically rotate them. So if none of them are true, it plays the first one and sets A. If A is the only one true, it sets B is true. If A and B is true, it plays the third one and sets C to true. If all of them are true, then it plays the last one and sets all of them to basically null or off. And all of them are just test dialogues. So dialogue 1, 2, 3, 4. lastly, you also need to go in. So you find your origin on the global instance, click them, go on with the Anubis config, and open it up. Mine is pretty much default except having avatar idle instead of a specific companion. Well, I might change that in the future, including companion. Actually, not companion, avatar state, default behavior, and night behavior. To make him do some specific things. The main thing is I have Den here. I'm not sure when I actually. So, if you assume you have saved your own script as an ANN file and place it under your data mods, your mod name, scripts Anubis node, and I personally would put it in a subfolder, in my case Den, just like Den here. You can then add it after refreshing Anubis. In here, reload framework should make it available, and it should work. Hopefully, I mean, no promises when he's inside the Druid's Grove. So the last thing is to just showcase it actually works. So I am playing currently as Astarion. I recruited Shadowheart specifically for making sure she doesn't run her script and basically take the stone I'm using for the test code. So let's go for recruiting him and saying you don't want to part with him. Just make it short. I have another video about this.
You wouldn't have to be and something. So what do you think?
I do also have custom lines for basically the origin characters if you happen to play one. And just wanted to put that out. So that's changed a little bit. But this wouldn't work, I'm afraid.
At least you're being honest. Well, good day to you then.
So now Rak has met us and he will have his little recruitment circle. I just think it is at the wrong spot though. We'll just rush over to the goblin encounter. Get rid of them using...
Check it out, but be careful.
What's it? Developer commands to basically kill them and get this over with. There we go. We don't need to speak to Sevler, so we're just gonna skip through it. So Rak should be spawning down here and moving up towards the stone.
Any questions, children?
There he is.
And again.
Because the first command is to sit on the stone. Once he sits, he should start cycling through his test dialogue, which does not have any voice files associated with them. This one. Dialogue 1. Normally there's 20 seconds between them, but for test purpose I just set it lower compared to Shadowheart. And we can talk to him and start his then recruitment dialogue, which is obviously different. But it's still test code. Dialogue 2, etc, etc. Since his recruitment circle is down here, that should force the thing. I mean, it still is test code. I'm not sure I want him up there, especially stealing Shadowheart's spot. But I do want him to reach the Grove. So if I go down here, Ragnar should... oh, did I move it? I don't know. Either way, that is something I need to fix at a later point. The main thing is I can go up to him now and, as you can see, then recruitment instead. And, well, I can have some code here for setting the states if I wanted to. This is, we have not met in the den before, so that's off. And we have talked to him before, so it's on. So, logic node, we have met before, but not after. Just for test. And this, we can recruit him just for testing purposes. I'll not do it here. And we can go back in, nothing. Now it should say we have met before and after. Logic. And we can see we can actually recruit him. If you're wondering about the missing icon over here, it's because I want to redo the thing with setting it up and trying to fix some missing metadata and the portrait and stuff. That is a problem for future tasks. I think that is pretty much going over it. And well, if not for you finding this useful, I will probably find this useful in the future. So either way, thank you for watching.